Are you training your child or your teenage to talk to you, or are you training them to talk at you? Food for thought. Stay tuned and then let's try and figure this out. My name is Christine Mwangi, a counseling psychologist here at All Smiles Therapy Center. And again, I'm here to discuss teenagers with you. So welcome. We did speak about teenagers and the kind of changes that they go through as they navigate this session of teenagehood, and we stated that this is an age where they are from 13 until 19, being a very dynamic stage and phase in their life. So some of the things that are very pertinent in this age is communication. How do we train them to communicate? Now, why I say training is because we are training these teenagers to become adults. So what kind of an adult do I want my teenager to eventually be? Look at it this way. The teenager is in the middle of a phase of being a child, so they are really not a child and they're really not an adult. So they're in the middle, and this is where the developmental age is called identity versus confusion. This is where they're trying to figure out who I am, who am I, because I'm not a child and I'm not an adult. So who exactly am I? And then the role confusion comes when they really don't know what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to be, what is acceptable behavior for them, what is not, and they're in the finding out exactly where do they belong. Now look at it this way. You are coming in with them from their being a child into a kind of a maze where they have to figure themselves out. They have to go through the maze into the other side, which is the adult side. So this is where you make a decision, and a very a firm decision, like how do I want them to navigate this? Do I want them to hold them by their hand and just take them through and dictate what path to go through? And then when they are in their adult space, they will still be expecting you to do the same, to hold their hands, to tell them what to do, meaning they're not going to be independent adults. But the other option would be you being behind them, letting them lead through the maze, just guiding them on what to do. And this will need a lot of communication. So today we are going to speak about communication a bit, just to see how best we can do this with them. Now, the first thing when we are communicating with our teenagers is to get permission. Yes, you heard that right. Getting permission from your teenage to speak to them. Remember, you're training them on how they're going to be doing it when they're adults, so that when they're adults, they don't just bump into or just bulge into a place and start speaking to people. They need to ask permission to speak. So when you're asking permission from your teenager to speak, it's good to allow them, like, is it a good time for me to talk to you about A, B, C, D? Or what time do you think is going to be good for us to have a conversation? The other thing is validating their feelings, validating that they are operating from a very emotional brain. They are operating this time from their amygdala brain, which is the emotional brain, and not their frontal cortex, which is the logical brain. So they are very sensitive, very impulsive. Their emotions are in play. So validate them. For example, telling them, I can see you're frustrated. I feel you. I can see the reason why you're frustrated. It is okay for you not to be okay. It's okay for you to be sad. It's okay to feel that the teacher or your friend was unfair. It's okay for you to have that feeling, so that they know that it's okay for them to be feeling. And this also teaches them to be validating other people's feelings when they are adults. The other thing is the affirmation, affirming them that I like the way you did this. I like the way you are able to make a decision between doing your homework at this time or doing it later. I like the way you are able to navigate through the issue you had with your friends. I like the way you are able to study hard and pass in your exams. I like the way, just that affirming that they actually did something right, so that they can know that they have the strengths and they have the capabilities and they have the abilities to do what is right for them. This is going to follow them even in adulthood. Now, the other thing is the reflecting. Like, for example, if your teenage comes and says, I hate school and I don't want to go to school again, reflect it back to them. What I hear you say is that you are feeling frustrated with the amount of work that has to be done. You're frustrated with friendships that are not going very well. You're frustrated with just the hours that you have to put in school, which is okay, but what do you feel? What do you want to do about it? How are you going to navigate this? What are the options that you have to make yourself feel better? Because you have to go to school at the end of the day. So let them engage them in a session where you're talking about what they need to do, what they feel, what they choose. You're training them how to make decisions about life, because in adulthood they will have to make their own decisions. So allow me to welcome you to come and have a sitting with us, and we talk matters on raising teenagers. Yeah, don't do this alone. Don't feel like you're losing your head over it. Don't feel so frustrated, because remember, your teenage is also feeling very confused. They're in their role confusion. Everything feels very abnormal for them. So if you join in to that feeling of confusion, then it's going to be a disaster. But we are here to help you through this, and so welcome, and let's see how best to navigate this very important stage with our teenagers.